Hey there, Silver Recaps here. Watch out. The story begins in Russia with a prison van transporting several prisoners to jail. On the way, the van stops at a gas station to refuel. The officers also allow the prisoners to take a bathroom break. However, when the officers line the prisoners up to board the van again, they realize one prisoner is missing. A quick search begins, and soon they find the missing prisoner, our main character, Kraven, hiding behind the restroom. After this incident, all the prisoners are taken to jail and locked up in their respective cells. The next day, while Kraven is exercising in the yard, a group of thugs from the prison attempts to intimidate him, showing off their dominance. But Kraven quickly turns the tables and teaches them a lesson they won't forget. Following the fight, Kraven is brought before the prison head, Seaman, who already knows Kraven from before. Seaman warns him that this prison will straighten him out soon enough. While Seaman speaks, Kraven notices a lion's head displayed on the floor as part of a carpet made from the animal's skin. Enraged, Kraven picks up the lion's head and furiously says, "You shouldn't hunt like this. One day someone might hunt you instead." Infuriated by Kraven's words, Seaman attacks him, but Kraven retaliates with precision, using one of the lion's teeth to wound Seaman fatally, ending his life. After this, Kraven skillfully evades the prison guards and makes his way to the rooftop. Neither their attempts to stop him nor the bullets fired in his direction affect him. With incredible agility, Kraven scales the tall prison wall and escapes to the other side, where his friend is waiting in a helicopter. Kraven quickly boards the helicopter and they fly away to safety. Here, a major revelation unfolds. Kraven wasn't a real prisoner. He had taken the place of the missing inmate and used the opportunity to kill Seaman and escape the facility. The story then shifts to a flashback 12 years earlier, where we see a young Kraven and his little brother Dmitri at school. Their father Nikolai arrives to pick them up and informs them that he's taking them from London to New York. During the journey, Nikolai shares devastating news. Their mother has passed away. He explains that she had been mentally unstable for some time and ultimately ended her own life. Kraven, however, blames Nikolai for her death. He believes that if Nikolai had prioritized his family over his business, their mother would still be alive. Nikolai dismisses Kraven's accusations, claiming it was God's will. To shift the mood, he tells them he's taking both boys on a hunting trip. Meanwhile, the story introduces a girl named Calypso, who is sitting with her grandmother. Calypso dreams of becoming a tarot card reader, just like her grandmother. To help her on this path, her grandmother gives her 3 tarot cards and a glass bottle containing a magical elixir. This potion has the extraordinary ability to heal wounds and even save lives. Passed down through generations, this powerful concoction now belongs to Calypso. Here we see Nikolai, who, unable to find a lion that day, ends up hunting a deer instead, as hunting was his profession. That night, they set up camp in the forest. Dmitri entertains his brother by mimicking voices, a special ability he had to imitate anyone's voice. Seeing this, Kraven feels genuinely happy for a moment. The next morning, the group sets out for another hunt. During this time, a hunter named Alexi arrives to meet Nikolai and proposes a partnership. However, Nikolai, being a renowned hunter, refuses to work with him and insults Alexei, sending him away. While this conversation takes place, Dmitri and Kraven wander deep into the jungle. Suddenly, a lion appears in front of them. To protect his brother, Kraven steps forward and points his gun at the lion. But before he can shoot, the lion pounces on him. Hearing their children's screams, Nikolai rushes to the scene and fires 3 or 4 shots at the lion. However, the lion grabs Kraven and drags him far away into the jungle. In the same area, Calypso is out hunting with her parents when she sees Kraven lying injured. She immediately rushes to him and applies her magical elixir to his wound. At this point, it's revealed that, along with the elixir, a single drop of the lion's blood also entered Kraven's body. This gives Kraven incredible lion-like strength. Even the doctors, who had given up hope seeing Kraven's condition, are stunned when he suddenly wakes up. Thanks to the elixir and the lion's blood, he recovers remarkably fast. Nikolai takes Kraven back home, and on the wall, we see the mounted head of the same lion that had attacked Kraven. Nikolai encourages Kraven to give up his studies and follow in his footsteps as a hunter. However, Kraven, who now detests the idea of killing innocent animals for business, decides to leave home. That night, as Kraven attempts to sneak away, Dmitri catches him. Dmitri confronts Kraven, saying, "Mom already left us, Father doesn't respect me, and now you're leaving too?" Hearing this, Kraven replies, "I can't hunt animals. If I stay here, Father will turn me into a hunter." With that, Kraven leaves home, determined to head to Russia, and on his way, Kraven notices a herd of bison running toward him, and for a moment, he feels a surge of fear. However, one of the bison unexpectedly stands in front of him like a protective wall, shielding him. The bison recognizes something unique in Kraven's eyes, a regal presence, a king's spirit. Using this opportunity, Kraven escapes the bison and heads straight to a house where he had spent happy moments in his childhood with his mother and brother. That night, feeling hungry, Kraven ventures out to hunt. This is when we witness Kraven's true strength for the first time. He has become far more agile and powerful than a normal human. While hunting, Kraven hears the sound of gunfire in the distance. Climbing a tree to investigate, he sees two hunters shooting at the bison. Furious, Kraven rushes to confront them. Standing before them, he says, "I'll let you go for the bison you've already hunted, but now leave this place immediately." The hunters laugh at him and point their guns at Kraven, ready to kill him. However, Kraven swiftly and ruthlessly eliminates both hunters, showing no mercy. The story then shifts back to the present, where Kraven, having escaped from prison, returns to the forest house once again. Here, he hears the voices of hunters and immediately sets out to protect the animals. He discovers that the hunters are cutting off the bison's horns and taking them away. When Kraven confronts them, they try to escape by starting their truck and driving away. However, Kraven leaps onto the vehicle and, one by one, eliminates all the hunters with brutal precision. One particular hunter manages to escape and rushes back to his office, only to find Kraven already waiting for him there. As Kraven flips through the hunter's group book, he doesn't see the man's name listed. Smirking, Kraven mocks him, saying, "You don't even have any respect among your own people." Just then, Kraven notices the man's name in the book, and without hesitation, he kills him as well. This hunter's book becomes Kraven's new mission. He decides to eliminate every hunter listed in it to protect the forest and its animals. Here, we see Calypso at her mother's funeral, overwhelmed with grief. As she is leaving, Kraven approaches her, showing her the tarot cards and the same glass bottle she once used to save his life. He tells her, "I'm the one you saved back then." At this point, Calypso has also received a list of hunters, similar to the one Kraven has. Seeing their shared goal, Calypso decides to join forces with Kraven, and the two begin planning how to eliminate the hunters together. Meanwhile, we are introduced to the main villain, Alexi. One of his men informs him that a man named Kraven is killing hunters and that they must act soon. However, Alexi seems unbothered and instead goes to meet a rival gang. There, he tells them, "Your leader was killed by Kraven. I'm here to take over your business." Some members agree to his proposal, but those who refuse face Alexi's true power. He reveals his real form by removing the biomechanical tubes that kept him in his human shape. Once these tubes are detached, Alexei transforms into a monstrous rhino-like being. Witnessing this terrifying transformation, the remaining gang members accept Alexei as their boss. It's Dimitri's birthday and a party has been organized to celebrate. However, the celebration is interrupted when a group of thugs attacks. Dimitri, terrified, hides under the table to save himself, while Nikolai bravely fights them off. Afterward, Nikolai scolds Dimitri harshly for his cowardice. Meanwhile, back in a Russian prison, a dangerous hunter infiltrates the facility. Using his ability to hypnotize, he kills an officer and sets out to hunt down Kraven. On the other hand, Kraven arrives at Dimitri's home to wish him a happy birthday. The two brothers sit down for dinner, enjoying each other's company. During the meal, Nikolai joins them and urges Kraven to take responsibility for the family business. Kraven, however, declines, wanting nothing to do with it. Despite the tension, the three enjoy the party together. The next morning, when Kraven goes to Dimitri's room, he finds it empty. Dimitri has been kidnapped by a group of thugs. Kraven tracks them for a long distance, but is unable to catch them as they escape in a helicopter. Determined to rescue his brother, Kraven seeks help from Calypso, who agrees to assist him. One of the kidnappers is a Turkish man, and Kraven begins searching for him. He then approaches his father, Nikolai, asking for $20 million, the ransom demanded to save Dimitri. However, Nikolai refuses to bow down to the kidnappers and declines to provide the money, despite receiving Dimitri's severed finger as a warning. Angry and frustrated, Kraven decides to find and rescue his brother on his own with Calypso by his side. The two track down a person who provides the Turkish man's location. Acting quickly, Kraven arrives at the location and systematically takes down the thugs one by one. He eventually confronts the Turkish man and demands to know Dimitri's whereabouts. The man reveals that Dimitri has been taken to Alexei. Meanwhile, Alexei is seen speaking to Dimitri, trying to manipulate him. He tells Dimitri, "Join me. Your brother is going to kill your father anyway. In return, I can offer you a special power." Dimitri appears conflicted, deeply contemplating Alexei's offer. Kraven, having found the whereabouts of his true enemy Alexei, returns home with Calypso to prepare for the final confrontation. At home, we see that Kraven has crafted some very special weapons for the battle ahead. Meanwhile, Alexei's men arrive to kill Kraven, as Dimitri has revealed Kraven's location to Alexi. As the attack begins, the animals in the area come to Kraven's aid, helping him fend off the attackers. However, Christopher, the hunter with hypnotic powers, manages to trap Kraven in his spell. Just as Christopher is about to kill him, Calypso intervenes, attacking Christopher and killing him, saving Kraven at the last moment. By this time, Alexei, unaware of what has transpired, is confidently celebrating, assuming his men have killed Kraven. However, while traveling, Alexei and his men encounter a charging group of bison. To fight them off, Alexei transforms into his monstrous rhino form. At that moment, Kraven arrives, ready for battle. What follows is an intense and brutal fight between Kraven and Alexei, a clash of sheer strength and determination. During the intense battle, Kraven strikes Alexei's body with a rod and then unleashes the bison on him, crushing Alexei to death. Just as the fight ends, Dmitri arrives at the scene. In the final act, Kraven sets out to confront the ultimate hunter, his own father, Nikolai. When Kraven confronts him, Nikolai stands firm, declaring, "I am a hunter, and I will remain one until the very end." Kraven, unwilling to kill his father with his own hands, orchestrates his death by unleashing a bear, which mauls Nikolai to death. With the battle over, things seem to return to normal. Time passes and Dmitri's next birthday arrives. Kraven visits him only to hear Dmitri declare, "I've decided to take over father's business." Shocked, Kraven tries to reason with him, but Dmitri, disguised as Kraven, threatens him to stay away. It's revealed that Dmitri, with his voice-mimicking ability and the shape-shifting power granted by Alexei, has chosen to embrace hunting and the family legacy. Dmitri is now determined to continue the cycle of the hunt, beginning a new chapter. In the closing moments, Kraven finds his father's jacket and a letter inside. The letter reads, "You know who your next hunt is." It's clear that Kraven's next enemy is his own brother, Dmitri. With this revelation, the movie ends, leaving the story on a chilling and suspenseful note.